A lot of unusual stuff happened over the weekend, lots of fight agreements after UFC 299, and fans are worried about Charles Oliveira. These are today's topics. My name is Flo, welcome to the Championship Rounds. Man, how many great fights have happened since I last posted a video. To discuss all those fights here, there's definitely not enough time in this format. I recorded the podcast in German on Sunday about the weekend and it took 2.5 hours. Still, of course, there's information regarding some of those fights that I want to share with you. Some may have seen that the main event of PFL Paris between Cedric, Doumbe and Baki Chamsoudinov ended in an unusual way. Both agreed to a rematch directly in the cage. And now Doumbe even mentioned a date. The former Glory champion spoke of May this year, so the fight should happen in just 2 months. There was also a bit of spectacle at the Glory heavyweight tournament. The heavyweight champion and the winner of the tournament, Rico Verhoeven, faced Nabil Khatchab in the semifinals, who is a prodigy of one of Rico's rivals, Jamal Ben Saddik. After the fight, there were words exchanged about whether the referee was biased for Verhoeven. Apparently, the situation heated up and Jamal Ben Saddik, who was active as a coach that day, tried to hit Rico with a high kick. As you can imagine, many people stormed the ring, but fortunately the situation did not escalate. Nevertheless, Glory released a statement saying that the situation is being investigated and Ben Saddik may be punished. Regarding the UFC, I can say that Topuria seems not interested in the direct fight against Sean O'Malley. He says Sugar should fight Merab first. Tom Aspinall is keen on the rematch against Curtis Blaydes, which Blaydes also mentioned at the press conference after his win against Almeida. Shavkat also seems to like the call-out from Jack Della Maddalena, but his manager said in an interview that we can expect to see Shavkat at the earliest in August due to Ramadan and some injuries. And Islam Makhachev and his manager Ali Abdelaziz mentioned that they were impressed by Poirier's performance and would likely give him a title fight. Poirier is of course up for it, Islam confirmed it again. This could really be waiting for us in June already. Definitely a lot of very good fights. What Dana White said right after the pay-per-view on Media Day also included that the bout order for UFC 300 is now complete. What bothers many fans, Bo Nickel against Cody Brandash is placed on the main card over Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan. You can make of that what you will, but I know what Tony would say.
You got this shit handed to you. You got Dana White privilege.
Dana White also mentioned that he's not interested in having McGregor fight Nate Diaz on Mexican Independence Day in the Sphere, which Nate Diaz had once wished for. I think currently the plan is to again have Alexa Grasso fight Valentina Shevchenko after TUF 32 will start to be broadcasted in June. How many episodes does such a show have? 12? If one is released per week as in the past, the airing ends by the end of August. Mexican Independence Day is about 1 month later. That fits perfectly. The ranking update was also released today. I don't give rankings much importance, so I won't go into all of them. Jack Della Maddalena in particular made a big jump. He was previously number 11 in the welterweight ranking and is now at number 5. Full Violence is a merchandise outfitter that releases exclusive shirts and sweatshirts in cooperation with fighters. Yesterday, a new, very fresh drop of Charles Oliveira merch came out. This is of course nice, check the drop out, but not the information I'm primarily interested in. As part of this new collection, Charles Oliveira took photos with the new clothes, and fans noticed that he has again a cut on his eye, which clearly needed to be stitched. You may remember that a deep cut forced him to cancel the rematch against Islam Makhachev in October. It's not exactly clear how old the photos are, but they are likely from the recent past. Even if they are from yesterday, I don't believe this cut will stand in the way of the fight against Tsarukyan, but it could obviously affect his training. And if the cut would get opened again in the next few days and is not fully healed by the time of the fight, it could have a very bad influence on the judging. Judges are clearly instructed to view bleeding as a sign of damage, which is the most decisive factor in scoring a round. But judging is anyway a topic that I view as very important and something I will definitely produce my own video on in the future. A lot of people simply misunderstand it. Let's hope for the best for Charles anyway. UFC Hall of Famer Mark Coleman reportedly saved his parents from a burning house. He was sleeping when the fire broke out, but his dog woke him up. After successfully rescuing his parents from the flames, he re-entered the house to save the dog, but passed out because of all the smoke and is now in the hospital. Unfortunately, the dog did not make it and died in the fire. Of course, everybody hopes that at least Mark recovers. At 59, he's not the youngest anymore. And yeah, rest in peace, doggo. We don't deserve dogs. What a hero. Lots of interesting fights have also been announced in various organizations. On August 6th, 2 welterweight fights are scheduled at Oktagon MMA, which will decide the next title fight. The PFL has released their events for April. The seasons in featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, light heavyweight, and women's flyweight start at 3 events on the 4th, 12th, and 19th of April. And Cage Warriors also announced that 4 tournaments are planned for 2024. The prize money is $50,000, and it seems that 4 fighters will participate in the tournaments. At least it was said that there will be a semi-final and a final. Also, a $10,000 bonus comes back for the correct prediction of a finish and a round. An interesting way to reward fighters. And in the UFC, a new noteworthy fight for UFC 301 was announced. Vitor Petrino will face Anthony Smith in Rio de Janeiro. With this information, I already end today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, feel free to subscribe to not miss any future episodes. And with that being said, see you next time.